Right, so there's this thing called Shadow Moses back in Metal Gear Solid 1. And so terrorists apparently took over this installation, government installation called up in Alaska. They're brothers, but like clones. They're from the guy named Big Buzz, who apparently was this big agent back in the past. We don't know really when. Problems with fighting for the government for causes he doesn't quite understand. And so him and Otacon, who was his kind of like Q, like in James Bond Q, his Q kind of, Otacon just kind of like, faded out and discovered that there might be a bunch of other gears being made by the Marines. Shame the Marines on their weapons project. But then, apparently, Liquid Snake's right-hand man pops
Speed it up now, run out of snake to eat.
Okay. So Liquid Snake's right-hand man comes in and decides to, like, kill the guy behind the Metal Gear Solid, or the Gear Ray, the new Metal Gear that our Marines have been working on. Cause a bunch of problems. 2 years passes. Now you start off as Raiden. Some Russian guy's daughter, who's also significant in the Tank series. But at the end of the day, it turns out to be another conspiracy because she's Mr. X. She's this ninja that comes and saves you. In the meanwhile, the terrorists are wanting Snake's body, but you're like, what the crap? Snake's dead. Oh yeah, by the way, the president's being held by these guys, but it's a different president than the last one.
And the former president was evil.
Yeah, the former president's evil. But it also turns out that apparently, like, the leader of these new guys running the terrorists is the former president himself, President Baker, I think? No.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, but it's the old president. And so he's running it, and apparently he's a combination of Liquid and Solid Snake. Which reminds me, by the way, so Liquid Snake, remember him from the last one? Yeah, so he...
Not dead!
He's not dead. He's actually, like... So apparently, like...
Ghost arm!
By the way, was just a complete cover-up to hide an even more secret base that the tanker just happened to be destroyed across, that the government had set up so that Snake and Otacon would infiltrate it and so that they could create this incident.
Blah, 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 Metal Gear Arsenal, blah, 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 Patriots, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, yeah, we have
3 Sons of Solid, Big Boss, Solid Snake, and Liquid Snake, blah, 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 sword fight, blah, 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 all of Metal Gear Solid 2 may have been virtual
reality. Don't forget, like, he has the big, like, arm things, too.
And tentacles, and yeah. Prepare for Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater!
I'm hoping the storyline gets simpler.
So, Jim?
Yes?
What if I told you we were going back through time?
You say that a lot, actually, and it just usually turns out that you're tripping on acid.
Do I say that a lot?
Well, you said that 4 times today.
Well, fair, but so we're going back through time to Snake Eater. A different war, a cleaner war, a colder war.
Okay.
Yep.
Usually Cold Wars implies not as much violence.
It's a war of covert operation and stuff and origin stories. But yeah, so welcome to Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater.
Thank you guys for sticking with us this long. We finally made it to 3 after a year and a half.
We're not a full year yet.
Oh, okay.
It's not been a full year since we started this train wreck. But yeah, so this is actually where I start being aware of the Metal Gear Solid franchise timeline-wise. I will talk about that more since it's going, but yeah. So this is actually the point where I start knowing things about this franchise, aside from the Kojima-y stuff, but have no context. So we'll see how this turns out.
Is gonna give us different expositions, I'm assuming. Let's just do it for the first time, since...
I don't know what this means. I'm playing the Metal Gear Solid series for the first time. I like Metal Gear Solid 1, I like Metal Gear Solid 2, I like Metal Gear Solid 3.
Well, we definitely aren't playing 3. We aren't doing that. I mean, we're playing 3, but not playing it for the first time.
So we're gonna go with I'm playing MGS series for the first time, actually, because that gets me more tutorials.
Okay.
And this franchise is not known for having tutorials.
Easy controls.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, this is normal?
Normal's fine.
I think we got some warning about from DZ and McCroy, or the
After the
commenter
end of World
formerly
War
known
II,
as McCroy,
the world
about
was
how
split
easy
into
this
two,
one is
East
on
and
normal,
West.
but
This marked
maybe that
the
means we'll
beginning
get through
of
it
the era
quickly.
called the Cold War.
Hey, it's Snake narrating.
David Hayter, you mean?
Yeah. I'm assuming he's playing Solid Snake.
It would make sense, seeing as Snake is a clone of Big Boss.
He's telling the story of his papa.
Sorta. So, like I mentioned during our kind of little intro, this is the first Metal Gear Solid game I was aware of in an active way. One of my earliest E3 memories when I first learned about E3 was seeing the original Snake Eater trailer, actually, which probably dates me some, but also we'll go into that conversation some other point. But I remember it was a fight between Solid Snake and Raiden for a director's chair, and it was this super stylized black and white thing. It looked really cool at the time, and I had no idea what the hell it was.
Commencing internal depressurization. Equipment check. Arm main parachute.
All right. You ready to go?
Drop zone still showing a high pressure mass.
Women in the military,
Okay.
they don't have
Good.
that
Got
back in
high
that time.
Yeah, they did.
Being
The special
facetious.
covert ops stuff. Not in the normal military. But covert ops stuff was weird, separate from different rules. So already, new Snake is cooler than Solid Snake because he smokes cigars.
Connecting oxygen hose to interior connector.
Yeah, you might not want to be smoking a cigar
Put
when
on
you're
your
connecting your
mask.
oxygen.
Does this panty waste know what he's doing?
I suspect he does.
Approaching release point.
10 minutes to drop off.
Hey, are you deaf?
He said put out the cigar and put on your mask.
I don't know why, but the game gave
And
me
it's a
a
Cuban cigar.
Well, the game also gave me a controller vibrate when that happened.
That was the
It's
most
still
dramatic
doing it.
toss of a cigar ever.
Depressurization complete.
I'm okay with that.
Supply. 6 minutes to drop off. Opening rear hatch.
You think you want to check the oxygen supply before you initiate the depression?
Yeah,
Details, I know. Not a significant.
Snake Eater. Such a good name.
Harry Gregson
External
Williams.
temperature minus 46 degrees Celsius. 2 minutes to drop off. Stand up. You'll be falling at 130 miles per hour.
Shit.
Try not to get frostbite from the wind chill. 1 minute to drop off. Move to the rear. Activate bailout model.
This is one for the history books. The world's first Halo jump.
10 seconds to drop off.
Their
Stand by.
propensity.
Make sure to
for
stamp out your
tobacco
cigars and
addiction.
cigarettes.
Okay, all green. Prepare for drop off.
Well, apparently the snake's propensitities for tobacco products, we now know
Genetic.
where they come from. Yeah.
Spread your wings
And fly. God be with you.
So far, I like. And it's only
Yeah.
been like 10 seconds into this.
No, this has the same kind of crazy opening I liked about Metal Gear Solid 2. Not to say there's a favorite war, but of the historical wars, I'm a huge fan of the kind of crazy,
Jack, I've got
insane
some
stuff that
important
happened
news.
in the Cold War.
Right.
The CIA has finally
We're
given
talking
us
about
green
the whole
light
kind
for
of
the
cloak and
virtuous
dagger
mission.
stuff.
Yeah, I like the spy game stuff.
No, the virtuous mission. The future of our Fox unit depends on it. If it succeeds, we'll be officially organized into a unit.
Virtuous mission. Sounds like some kind of initiation ritual.
You know, don't get cocky. This isn't a training op.
Right. So what exactly is this wonderful mission?
Well, about 2 years ago, a certain Soviet scientist requested asylum in the West through one of our moles.
That's just every
His name is
start of
Nikolai
every
Stepanovich Sokolov.
Cold War-esque
Head of
film.
the
Yeah.
OKB-754 Design Bureau, one of the Soviets' top-secret weapon research facilities, and the East's foremost expert on weapons development.
Sokolov. Isn't he that famous rocket scientist?
The very
Exposition.
same. On April the 12th,
We've already gotten more
1961,
context for
Soviets
this game than
achieved
any
first
other
manned
previous
space
Metal
flight
Gear game.
in
Sure.
history.
The Earth was blue, but there was no God.
Well spoken. The rocket that carried Yuri Gagarin into orbit was the A-1, known as the Vostok rocket. Sokolov is said to be the man most responsible for the multi-engine cluster used in that rocket. After Gagarin's flight, Sokolov
Man,
left
why
the
can't we
rocket
have modern races like
become the
this?
head
Like,
of
the
the
idea
newly
behind a
established
space race
Design Bureau.
was so goddamn cool. Yet it was
From a
being
lowly
driven
technician to
by
head of Design Bureau,
nuclear
that's
arms
quite a
races and
success
stuff like
story.
that.
So
But
what
now
do
all we
you
have
want
is
to
like
bet?
terrorism
It seems he'd
and
become afraid
bombing
of his
and
own
armament
creations.
races. It's not the same. There's no crazy cool goal
Call it
like
a crisis
the
of
moon
conscience.
in the
And
Lurch
for that,
anymore.
Yeah, most of the races are.
Now it's
you
just
can kill the
oil
most-
and not nuking the
Yeah.
Middle East.
One of his
Yeah.
conditions was that
Yeah, they're not as
also
fun
to be
anymore,
taken
they're-
safely to the west.
But then again, I mean, always
Fun's the
having
wrong word.
family out
The
first,
stakes are
succeeded
different.
in
They're
sneaking
far more
Sokolov over
horrifying
the
and a lot
Berlin Wall
less.
shortly after.
Fuck yeah, we did something cool.
No, they're still pretty horrifying in the Cold War, considering you had mutually assured
Oh
destruction.
yeah, no,
as
that's what I'm saying. Like,
the,
it's yes, both races were driven by
We got Sokolov over
the
in one
impending
case,
nuclear
ordeal
war
that left him exhausted.
death that was
We
coming.
checked him into a hospital in West Berlin. It took him 2 weeks and more than 600 miles to get from the research facility in the Soviet Union to Berlin. He was in no condition to say anything coherent.
That's a
And it
pretty
was only
badass
a
guy
week
to,
later
Yeah.
that we
to
had
traverse
something
that
much
on
bigger
foot.
on our hands.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
October the 16th, 1962, President Kennedy received word that the Soviets were in the process of deploying intermediate-range ballistic missiles in Cuba. The President demanded that the Soviets dismantle and remove the missiles. At the same time, he announced a naval blockade to prevent further missile shipments from reaching Cuba. But the Soviets didn't back down, instead placing their armed forces on secondary
I like
alert.
this use of
Transport ships carrying
Video.
video.
missiles
Yeah, it
continued on
actually
course
it
towards
works
Cuba.
better than the previous ones we've
US and Soviet
seen,
forces went
and
on
they've like
alert
grittied it up
while
enough that it
nuclear war.
feels historically
Frantic
accurate.
negotiations
I don't mind the
conducted
graininess
UN
this time
Emergency
around
Security
because
Council
it feels
and
appropriate.
channels to end the hair-trigger standoff. Finally, on October the 28th, the Soviet Union agreed to remove its missiles from Cuba.
Woo!
And so the world avoided a nuclear holocaust. But in order to get the Soviets to pull their missiles out, we had to make a deal.
You mean the one where the US agreed to remove its IRBMs from Turkey?
No. The Jupiter IRBMs deployed in Turkey were obsolete, and we were going to get rid of them anyway. They had no strategic value whatsoever to either the US or the Russians. The Turkey deal was a ruse, a cover story that was fed to the other intelligence agencies around the world.
So what did the Russians really want?
Sokolov. They wanted us to return Sokolov.
You mean the Soviets pulled out of Cuba just to get their hands on Sokolov?
That's
right.
He's a pretty
Big.
fucking important guy, I
Yeah.
imagine.
On.
Metal
Time, we
Gear.
had no idea.
The prototype
bet.
for Metal Gear.
It was either give up Sokolov or risk full-scale nuclear war.
sounds like
In the
a
end, we
smart
had no
trade.
choice. President Kennedy gave in to Khrushchev's demand. The next day, I got Sokolov out of the hospital, handing him over to agents on the eastern side. Sokolov kept on screaming, "Save me," until he disappeared from my sight.
Do they explain why he defected?
People wanted out of the
Then a
Soviet
month ago,
Union.
we
Yeah, but there's
received
something
some new
specific, I'm
information.
sure.
He wanted his family out and stuff like that. Like it's
About Sokolov?
no more complicated than he wanted out of the Soviet Union.
Taken back to the research facility and forced to continue.
Nothing
working
is simple
on
with
weapon
Metal Gear
question.
Solid.
Well, yeah, I'm sure
Or
they'll get
obvious.
to it.
What's more, it's on the verge of completion.
So what kind of weapon is it? Something to do with space rockets?
No, missiles.
Same technology.
I guess you're right. We don't know the details, but it appears to be a new kind of nuclear device. For half a year now, the Soviets have been conducting frequent nuclear tests at Semipalatinsk.
Something to do with the weapon, I assume.
We're talking about a secret weapon so big that Khrushchev was ready to pull out of Cuba to get it back.
Is Sokolov still in the facility?
No, according to our intelligence, he's in Selino-Yarsk, a place in the mountains about 3 miles to the west that's known as the Virgin Cliffs.
The Virgin Cliffs. Nice name for a virtuous mission.
They moved him there just recently.
Why?
Apparently, they're conducting a field test of the weapon, but it's our best chance to get him back. This mission would never have been possible if he was still in the research facility.
Huh.
This is our last chance. Sokolov must have known that too when he contacted us.
He's so desperate to get out of the USSR, he'll strike a deal with the people that sold him back.
I was actually thinking that, yeah.
Yeah.
I hope we really learn more details of why you
I
wanted
assume we will.
They mentioned earlier, like, because Snake's character, or Big Boss, mentioned why does he want to leave, and then he went on some tirade, and
yeah.
he kind of didn't catch it. But I have a feeling it's a lot deeper, because, yeah, you're right. I was thinking the exact same thing. I'm like, he's going back to the guys that sold him back.
In the U.S.'s defense, one guy to stop the Cuban Missile
Oh, no,
Crisis.
I'm not making any
Oh,
moral
cool.
judgments. It's a pretty utilitarian argument.
I can
but,
control cutscenes
Oh, well,
from first person.
Oh, sweet.
If we don't get Sokolov back before that weapon is complete, we'll be facing a major crisis. The clock is ticking.
And then, of course, now the utilitarian argument favors the other side. We have to get him back before he builds a mega weapon. That changes the course of the Cold War.
Yep.
Once we've confirmed the rescue of Sokolov, stand by
Okay, you know,
for
that's
recovery.
not as entertaining as from
Recovery
the
balloon will be
outside.
dropped at that point.
I don't know, kind of cool.
Helium will be
a bunch of yellow. It looks like you fell into a vat of Mountain
takes
Dew.
about
Yeah.
20 minutes. Once it's complete, the gunship's arm will latch onto the balloon and pull it up.
The Fulton surface-to-air recovery system. I'm familiar with the theory.
Take it easy. It's been combat-proven.
Do you think
Why does that guy look
Sokolov is
really
up to it?
familiar?
He kind of looks like Campbell.
The shock will be less
Yeah.
than during a parachute jump, and the arm can handle up to 500 pounds.
So you're planning on going over the border in a single combat Talon?
She's equipped with two 6-barrel 20mm Vulcan cannons, as well as two 40mm machine guns.
Sounds like she could hold her own against a battalion of tanks.
Even with the fuel in the reserve tank, we're facing a 4-hour time limit. If all goes well, it shouldn't take more than a few hours.
Home in time for dinner.
But if anything goes wrong, you'll be eating dinner, breakfast, and all the rest of your meals in the jungle.
Cool, so the game only takes 4 hours. Neat. Let me have my youthful enthusiasm.
Yeah, because we know everything in Metal Gear Solid always runs so smoothly.
Oh, yeah,
with no
mission-
twists. Everything
every
is as
mission
you
works
see.
perfectly.
It's like the opposite of Firewatch, which is why Firewatch was so hard for us to to digest. Like, wait, there's no greater conspiracy?
That was probably important.
Yeah. You can run back and grab it.
Nice.
Hey, anyone that can flip a cigar that smoothly can land that smoothly.
Nice
Whoa.
again. We're playing as Psycho Mantis now. I've decided it. Okay. None of this gear is important, apparently.
Well, I mean, I guess it's for the drop, because he was dropping from, like, 30,000 feet.
Makes sense.
Because they need some oxygen.
Yeah, oxygen supply. Steak! I like Snake Prime.
Yeah. It also helps that the graphics are a ton better.
He looks just different enough that it's a believable origin, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
It's very much Solid Snake, but it's not quite the same, and not just the graphics.
Do you copy?
Ooh, I like
We're already
this.
in enemy territory, and somebody might be listening in. From here on out, we'll be using code names to refer to each other. Your code name for this mission will be Naked Snake. I'll be referring
Okay.
to you as Snake from now on. You're not to mention your real name.
Snake?
What, you don't like snakes?
What do you mean?
You've eaten one before, haven't you?
In survival training?
I'm glad to hear that.
I don't know if I'd ever order one in a restaurant, but...
Be careful, you might not have a choice.
What about you, Major? What should I call you?
Not the Major.
Let's see. I'll be Tom. Call me Major Tom.
I love that song.
Sneaking mission. You must not be seen by the enemy. You must leave no trace of your presence. Is that clear? This kind of infiltration is the Fox unit's speciality. In other words, weapons and equipment are procured on site. That goes for food as well. You're completely naked, just as your name implies.
Great.
Great. Now I see why you
So they're
asked me
speaking in
if I
code
like
names, but I
snakes.
mean, their
I
whole
suppose
planet and
calling
everything
me
can still be
Snake was your idea of the
intercepted.
joke,
Yeah.
too.
Like, and
No.
their presence
There's
is
a good
still
reason for
known.
that.
Like,
I'll tell you later when the time is right.
Gotcha. Getting back to the subject, how exactly am I supposed to
Eat
feed
snakes.
myself?
You've been issued a knife and a tranquilizer gun. Use them to hunt for food. You'll also find some medical supplies in your backpack.
Yeah, about the backpack. I lost it in a tree on the way down.
I see. Well, you'd better go back and get it then. You know where it is?
No problem. I can see it from here. It's stuck on a branch.
To climb a tree, stand in front of a tree that's covered in ivy and press the action button. I'll be monitoring your progress over the radio. We can't risk violating Soviet airspace, but I'll be in the gunship. My frequency is 140.85. I'll give you a call if I need to talk to you. If you need to talk to me, use the send function. Okay, Snake, go get your backpack.
Okay. Got first person mode. Can't move in first. I can sidestep though. Could you do that in MGS2?
no.
You sure?
I actually can't remember.
Alright, knife.
That must be the rations.
RC calorie made of balanced nutritional, okay. Revival pill. None.
Revival. What is the description?
What the hell's a revival pill for?
Wake up from a fake death. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure that will be a thing.
Yeah.
Woo, knife skills. Can't move and knife at the same time. That's good to know. Let's see if this is the... Okay, Major Tom. Let's give him a call and see what happens.
Snake, first you need to find that backpack you lost on the way down. Your backpack got caught on a tree to the north. Try heading in that direction.
Alright.
Never realized how rich, green, and tropical the jungles of Soviet Union were.
So, not saying they are totally tropical and stuff like that, but they're, like, Russia's not just a barren hellscape of, oh, that's cool, it's, hold X to get up.
Yeah.
Alright, so action button. What the hell's the action button?
Oh, we're off to a great start. Well, while you're busy grinding on that tree.
There we
you
go. Alright, so we got some Assassin's Creed bullshit. Good to know. And action button is triangle.
Snake, where do you think you're going? You can't
Must have walked
expect to
past
proceed
it.
with the mission without any weapons or equipment. First, you'll need to recover your backpack. It's caught on a tree to the south. Press the action button to climb the tree.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't see it on the tree
There we go.
that I climbed.
Was it on the one we climbed?
Yeah, it's on the tree I can climb.
Okay.
'Cause
You
vines.
just have to go up higher.
Nope.
Oh, I see it. It's hard to tell. Okay, yeah.
There you go. Colin.
I see you've retrieved your backpack, Snake.
Yep, no thanks to you.
To equip a weapon, it's necessary to take it out of your backpack. In the survival viewer, choose Weapon from the backpack. Your available weapons will be displayed in a window in the upper left. From that list, choose the weapon you want to equip and press the Enter button. For other equipped
Survival
items, just do
viewer?
the same thing from Items.
Just probably your
Got
inventory
it.
list.
Use the survival viewer backpack.
Yep, that's right. Survival is fundamental to this mission. After you've been out
As
in the field
opposed
for a while,
to
your
death.
stamina will start to drop. If your stamina
Which in
gets
other
too
missions is
low,
okay.
It'll affect your performance.
Yeah.
You won't be able to shoot accurately, for example, and your wounds won't heal as smoothly. Keep an eye on your stamina so you don't run out. To recover lost stamina, you can hunt for local flora and fauna. You can
So
use
snakes.
either your tranquilizer gun or your knife to hunt.
My only weapon is a Mark 22 Hush Puppy tranquilizer gun?
That's right. It's been fitted with its own suppressor. However, the suppressor will deteriorate every time you fire. Once its durability reaches 0, the noise suppression effect will be gone. So don't get too trigger happy with it. The suppressor's durability is shown in the icon.
Good to
Any
know.
weapons and equipment beyond what you're carrying now, you'll have to find as you go.
I have to find my own weapons and equipment? Whose crazy idea was this anyway?
Solo covert actions are standard Fox operating procedure. You can't leave any traces of your presence. No weapons, equipment, footprints, sweat, or bodily waste. The same goes for bullets and cartridges, too. Your presence in enemy territory is already a violation of international conventions of warfare.
So this is actually kind of the
There aren't supposed to be
norm
any
for most
American
modern
soldiers in
high-end
Russia.
military
It
action.
could spark an international incident. You can't let anyone see you. You can't let the enemy know you're there. This is a stealth mission. You're a ghost, Snake, in every sense of the word. And there'll be no rescue if you're captured. The military and US government will deny any involvement in the affair.
Then I'll just have to take care of myself, huh?
I'm afraid so. You've been given a fake death pill for that
Oh,
purpose.
that's what the revival's for.
SIS guidelines stipulate that soldiers on covert ops like this one be issued a potassium cyanide capsule. Tape it to your body so you can take it when you need to.
How generous of you.
Use it if you're taken prisoner by the enemy. It'll send you into a state of false death for a short time.
Fooling them into thinking that I'm really dead. So how do I come back to life?
Just take the revival pill.
You mean that thing they put in my tooth before the mission?
That's the one. But be careful.
That being
If you remain
said,
in
if
a
you're
state of false
unconscious
death
from
for
a
too
state
long,
of false death,
nothing will be able to
how
bring
will
you back.
you know to take the
Remember that.
pill?
Yeah.
I'll keep it in mind. You said this was a solo mission, right?
Right.
I guess that means I can't count on any reinforcements.
Correct. The mission rests entirely in your hands.
A real one-man army.
Relax. There's a support team ready to back
Relax,
you
you're
up over the
big
radio.
boss.
Who?
I'll
He's not
introduce
Big
them to
Boss
you.
yet.
This time, survival
He's
is
Snake.
of utmost
Naked
importance.
Snake.
The first member of the support team will be in charge of monitoring your physical condition, acting as a medic, so to speak. as well
But
as
not an
retrieving
actual
your mission
medic,
data.
because she's not here.
As a
Or
member
he's
of
not
Fox
here.
as well.
Right.
She.
She'll just basically be
She's
like
here
a,
on the
a
gunship with you.
Wikipedia for health.
She?
Hey, you could have been shot.
Hello,
No
Snake.
shit.
I'm paramedic. Nice to meet you.
Paramedic?
As in a medic who comes in by parachute.
Aren't you going to tell me your real name?
Are you going to tell me yours, Mr. Snake?
My name, huh? It's John Doe.
And they call you Jack for short. You're a regular Captain Nemo.
A name means nothing on the battlefield. After a week, no one has a name. What's your name?
Jane Doe.
Very funny.
I wasn't joking, but I'll tell you my name only if you manage to make it back alive.
She's gonna betray
my
us.
frequency is 145.73.
Like every other woman in the Metal Gear Solid
She's also in
series,
charge of
Not
recording
that,
your
but
mission.
except
just-
for Mei Ling.
Whenever
Yeah.
you want to save, send a message over the reserved save frequency.
Hopefully, she's not going to be as naggy as
140.96.
Rose.
Nothing
So
could be
saving
as
lets
bad
me
as
record my mission
Rose.
data.
That was so goddamn
That's
annoying.
right. It also records the state of your health.
Good to know.
There's one more person I want to introduce you to, Snake. Speaking of snakes, you remember the boss, don't you? A legendary soldier and your mentor. Actually, it was the boss that got the DCI's authorization in the first place.
So we're not Big Boss?
No,
She's
we're
gonna
not
be
Big
serving
Boss.
as Fox's mission advisor.
We're just Naked Snake.
Boss is...
I thought.
She also helped me plan this mission. She and I were at SAS together.
Jack, is that you? How many years has it been?
Big Boss.
Boss?
That's right. It's me. Talk to me. Let me hear your voice.
It's been 5 years, 72 days, and 18 hours.
So we obviously have a thing for the boss.
You can tell just by the sound of my voice.
Of course I can. I know all about you.
Really? Well, I don't know anything about you.
What's that supposed to mean?
Why'd you disappear on me all of a sudden?
I was on a top secret mission.
Yeah.
You
These
didn't need me in.
career paths aren't very
But there were
conducive to
still so
relationships.
This
many
is
things
all
I
very
wanted to
ominous
teach
as
me.
shit, isn't it?
No, I taught you everything you needed to know about fighting techniques. I taught you all I could. The rest you needed to learn on your own.
Techniques, sure. But what about how to think like a soldier?
How to think like a soldier? I can't teach you that. A soldier needs to be strong in spirit,
just like,
body, and technique.
Yeah, it gives
personnel
And the
file
only
stuff.
thing you
Yeah,
can
like
learn
I know
from
that,
someone else is technique.
Major Tom
In
was born in
fact, technique
1909.
doesn't even matter.
I mean, I can.
What's most important
When I
is
page through the
spirit.
pictures, stuff shows
Spirit
up.
and body are like two sides of a single coin.
See, last
They're the
one
same
gives you the
thing.
bio.
I can't teach you how to think. You'll just have to figure it out for yourself. Listen to
What
me,
we're best
Jack.
at.
Just because soldiers are on the same side right now doesn't mean they always will
Stop
be.
foreshadowing!
Having feelings about your comrades is one of the worst sins you can commit. Politics determine who you face on the battlefield. And politics are a living thing. They change along with the times. Yesterday's good might be tomorrow's evil.
Is that
that's
why
the
you
truth.
abandoned me?
No, it had nothing to do with you. I already
So,
told you, Jack. I was on a
calling
top
it
secret
now.
mission. A soldier has to follow
The
whatever
boss
orders he's given.
betrays
It's
us.
not his place to question why.
There's
You're
too
looking for a
much.
reason.
Things will change going
You are
on
a
right now.
natural-born
Yeah,
fighter,
Rose,
but you're not quite a
Naomi.
soldier. A soldier is a political tool, nothing more. That's doubly true if he's a career soldier. Right and wrong have no place in his mission. He has no enemies and no friends. Only the mission. You follow the orders you're given. That's what being a soldier is.
I do whatever I have to get
Okay.
the job done. I don't think about politics.
That's not the same thing. Sooner or later, your conscience is going to bother you. In the end, you have to choose whether you're going to live as a soldier or just another man with a gun. There's a saying in the Orient, loyalty to the end. Do you know what it means?
Loyalty to the
patriotic.
end.
It means devoting yourself to your country.
I follow the president and the top brass. I'm ready to die for them if necessary.
Are we?
The president and the top brass won't be there forever. Once their terms are up, others will take their place.
I follow the will of the leader, no matter who's in charge.
People aren't the ones who dictate the missions.
Then who does?
The times. People's values change over time, and so do the leaders of a country. So there's no such thing as an enemy in absolute terms. The enemies we fight are only enemies in relative terms, constantly changing with the times.
We get it. I understand the nature
yeah.
of war
I
and
I
the.
think she's kind of
Loyalty to the
beating
end.
this in
There's no point in
geopolitics.
believing in
Yeah.
anything, even in those
Saddam
we
was her
love.
ally, then he was her
That's the
enemy.
way a soldier's
So
supposed to
even
think.
beyond that, World
The
War
only
I
thing
was
we can
caused by
believe
the
in
exceedingly
with
convoluted
absolute
and
certainty is the mission,
unfortunate network of
Alright,
allies and
but do me
enemies
a
that was
favor.
caused via how
What
they
is
did
it?
peace treaties at that time.
Well,
Snake.
not only that, also
Oh, right.
by the fact that
Your
everybody was
codename is
really
Snake.
nationalistic and
It
interested
suits
in
you
wanting
well.
to go to a war, thinking
That's
that
right.
they would still
the
fight in the
legendary
rules
unit
of the
that boss
Napoleonic
put together
era.
during World
Yeah.
War II was
Only
a
to
snake.
discover that, oh
The
yeah,
code
yeah, when the
name.
industrialized war
Heroes
becomes
that
really
brought the war
scary
to
and
an end
dangerous and
and
lots more
saved the
people die.
world.
Machine
As
guns.
long as you've
Yep.
got a legendary hero backing you up, you'll be fine. Isn't that right, Snake?
Yeah, I can't think of anyone else I'd rather have with me. Oh, and one more thing, boss.
Yes,
It's good
Aw.
to hear your voice again.
same here. After all, who knows if either of us will make it out alive?
Stop
Snake,
foreshadowing
you're always
at
best
things.
urban warfare and infiltrating buildings. But this is the jungle. Survival is going to be key. Those CQC techniques I taught you are sure to come
I'm
in
sure
handy.
she taught him some really
CQC?
cool techniques.
See, close quarters combat, huh?
Huh.
I've been in the Green Berets for the past few years. I'm probably pretty rusty.
Not to worry.
How was
I'll
being in
be
the
here
Green
to help you
Berets a
remember.
chance to get
After all,
rusty
this is your
at
first
close quarters
actual
combat
survival mission.
techniques?
I guess
I'll
there
be
are people
supporting
in
you
other
over the
organizations
radio.
that are cooler, is
Where
what they're
are
trying to
you,
imply.
boss? Next to the major?
The boss is communicating with us by radio from aboard a Permit-class
Submarine?
submarine in the Arctic Ocean.
My frequency is 141.80. Call me if you need my advice on battle techniques.
Gotcha.
Your mission is to retrieve Dr. Sokolov. Dr. Sokolov is being held in an abandoned factory located to the north of your current position. Avoid heavy combat and don't let anyone see you. Don't forget that this is a stealth
Thank you for
mission.
reminding us
Yeah,
again.
that hasn't been beaten into us enough yet.
Yeah. Are you gonna also tell us that the enemies are relative and that they might be on our side the next day?
Yeah.
Just in case I didn't pick that up from the boss.
Commencing virtuous mission. Now.
What?
Something Wicked Studios.
Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you give us a thumbs up down below, you share us with all your friends, and you subscribe to the channel. If you're looking for more videos right now, we got a whole bunch of ones all over the channel you can get to by the links below. If you hit the random button, I promise to send you to a good one. You know you want to. Press it. Press it.